Howdy, it is I, Junk, back again with something a little bit different. I'm going to show you how I make my shorts on the iPad. I just use the same iPad I play on I use to make the shorts, and how I get the health bar and action bar to show up, or the action button to show up, multiple buttons in the case of Titans. And I've had a lot of people ask me about this, so this is the simplest explanation. When I started making shorts, I figured out this is Adobe Rush. I find it to be the easiest program. There's similar programs like it. The core concepts are the same, but I thought it was going to be really difficult to add health bars, and someone suggested add health bars, and I was like, yeah, it's so easy, and it turns out it is really easy just once you wrap your head around the concept. So this is the Rush window. We're just going to go to Create New Project, and I'm going to cut out the Create New Project so you don't see my camera roll. You're not ready for that. We don't know each other like that yet. So let's go to Create New Project and open something up. Okay, it's now opening the most recent game I played, which was on Castle. I just clicked the file from the recording. This is just a regular screen recording using the built-in screen recorder. Now, Rush is meant for things like, Instagram and TikTok, so it's got different aspect ratios here. I usually don't pick the aspect ratio until I'm ready to upload, or I should say, until I'm ready to cut it down. First, I want to identify the part of this that is interesting, and there's a couple fun parts to this particular game, but the one I want to show is right here at the beginning, where I just play it and you can see I just walk up here and absolutely roast an Orochi. Just send him right before he can even cap. I think that's a fun moment. The Orochi probably less so. So let's clip it right here. I'm just using the scissors tool over here on the right. This is the magic keyboard I'm pointing with. We can get rid of that part of the video, and let's advance to when I'm just walking up, and we're going to cut it again. Get rid of this part of the video, and I'm using 2 fingers to push outward to spread this timeline a bit. I kind of spread it a bit far. Let's narrow that a bit. So now we can go to the aspect ratio and narrow the aspect ratio, and let's just watch it again. It's only 12 seconds, so it's a short. We like shorts, right? Orochi's having a good day. Orochi is gone. Okay, now, yes, and I've noticed the behemoth speed is faster since the last patch. I think they either stealth buffed it or they accidentally undid the nerf. So I don't know whether to be happy or to anticipate them coming back to ruin my day again when they take it away. Anyway, back to shorts. So what we have now is this one timeline. What we need to do is make copies of it and layer them on top of each other, and then make those copies on top a little bit smaller and positioned differently. So over here on the right, we've got 2 tools we're going to be using. This is the sound tool, this one here, because we have to mute those other timelines. There's another way to do this, which is you split the audio from the video and then only copy the video. It really doesn't matter. I do it this way because I find it faster. And then down here, the transform tool we're going to use to make those layers smaller. So first, we need to highlight our only layer, the only one that's working, and we'll duplicate it. And now, using my finger, I'm just going to take this and drag it on top. You'll see how the bars go white on the side? That means that I'm aligned. And I need to duplicate it again. There's another duplicate, by the way. You don't have to click on the clip. Duplicate right over here on the left. See it? Right over here on the left? We're going to duplicate it again, and it's going to layer it again. Okay. So, I need to go to the audio and just mute the top 2 layers. And now we go to the top layer and go to the transform tool here. Now, I've done this enough that the health bars, which are almost the same all the time, I just know the numbers that I like 814, 85, 90, 76, and I like a little feather. On the side, 5. It's very subtle. So as you can see now, we've got a health bar. Largely irrelevant in this clip because no one's shooting at me. And I almost never even show the ability bar with Behemoth, because with the Behemoth you can see when it's using its ability or not. But let's go through that just so you see the process for the ability bar here. And when you're doing this manually, first you have to shrink this layer. I tend to, for most ability bars, when you're doing this aspect ratio, I've found that between 60 and 70 tends to work. 70 if it's just a simple ability. Alright, now we've got a smaller version of this over here. Let's move it over. Whoop, I'm messing with the width. back to 70. Okay. I want to go to the transform tools here and switch the horizontal position a bit till it's visible. Then bring the bottom, this on the under the advanced over here, down here. Bring the bottom up. Bring the top down. And when you're doing this, you want to keep an eye out because some abilities are going to have charges, and the charges take up space. If you're doing this on an Aether, I know that I like to go down to 60 in the width of that frame because there's so much stuff. You've got 2 buttons and charges that you need to go all the way down to 60. 70 is usually right for a lot of things. So now I've got this slice here of a screen, and I want to move this back up to the top. The reason I like the health bar up here is that it's out of the way of most of the action, but low enough that you can see the kill messages at the top, which is satisfying. I mean, that's half the reason to take people out. So we want to adjust the vertical position of this slice until you can see it's kind of parallel. You see that? Kind of parallel with the health bar. And then we just go down to the advanced tool and crop in from the left until we have a health bar. And lest I forget, that little, it's completely meaningless, it's all psychological to me, the little edge feather. And now we should have a short with a health bar and an action bar. Health bar doesn't move, but you can see the action bar does move. And we have a short. Go to share and export. Save to camera roll. Now the one thing with the with Rush is that it saves copies of your full video. One time I was playing and it ended up messing up my recording because the 1 terabyte storage on my iPad was full because Rush had been keeping copies of everything I was turning into shorts. So as a force of habit, I like to delete from device, and let's make one more from the same video. Okay, we're loading in. I'm sorry if I cut that off because I had to go back to the camera roll, which again, we don't know each other like that. So making one more short from the same video, and I think the one I want to make, just because I'm in this campaign to disparage serifs, there's a feather destrier that comes and tries to take me out. So I'm just using my finger to push the timeline so I can see it's right about here. And I guess we can have this little, I take out a guy here, and then there's, I got my triple kill, I'm shooting over here, and then a feather destrier comes to snuggle me and take me out, and with punchers in my face, can't get the job done. Punchers in my face and an orbital strike, and I'm just walking around. Now, one thing you can notice, once I've cut the back end off this timeline, I'm looking over here, and I can see I'm 37 seconds, so I'm within the shorts window. I can use the scissors tool and clip that. I can use the trash to get rid of that extra clip, and use the 2 fingers spreading out to move my timeline outward. And we can watch this little clip here. Triple kill. Sometimes with these weapons also I like to make the weapon button visible so you can see how far I am. I don't do it for most weapons, but since the time you've been firing the lasers is really important, making a little version of that is sometimes nice. And here's the Seraph who thinks he's going to take me out. And then he remembers he's a destrier and falls over. Well, I don't know about you, I find that very satisfying. So I'm happy with the clip. Let's make that the right aspect ratio. Let's make 1 copy, 2 copies, and then I think I'm going to just use 2 copies. I was going to say I could make a 3rd copy so you see the action button and the firing button, but I honestly feel like you don't need the action button in Behemoth 99% of the time because you can just see if it's using 4 weapons or 2. So I'm just going to use 2 timelines and make one of them the firing button. So we're going to mute these 2 clips, go back to the top clip, and rather than just putting in the numbers, I guess I'll show you how I use the sliders to do the numbers. Maintain proportions. I'm going to take the width down. Well, actually, that's not how I would do it. Let's do it properly. If I don't know what I'm doing, right, and I don't know what numbers I want to use here, I'll move the horizontal position until I see the health bar. And then I can shrink the health bar till I think it looks small enough to put on the screen. And I can move it now, the horizontal position back. Crop the bottom parts away that I don't need. Crop from the right to get rid of all that extra stuff. And once again, because it's me, I just like the little feather. Okay. Boy, out of context, I just like a little feather sounds bad. You might think that I like the weather chickens. I don't like the weather chickens. Okay. Now, this time we're going to crop for the firing button. So, we're going to move the horizontal position to the left till we have a firing button on screen. Great. And now we're going to shrink it, and because this is a really big thing, I think 60 is probably going to be where I want to start, and that might even still be a bit big. We'll see how that goes. Moving the horizontal position back, cropping from the bottom, cropping from the top. Okay. Now let's move the vertical position up, and that is a big honking button. I think I'm going to go down to 50 because that just feels really big to me. So let's just, go down to 50. 44? Is that 45? Is that crazy? Let's see how it looks. All right, 45. I'm going to adjust the vertical position. I'm going to adjust the horizontal position. I'm going to crop in from the left till we have just a firing button, and we're going to feather the edge. Let's see what that looks like. Sorry, the iPad is trying to play these layers simultaneously. When it's rendered into a video, obviously it'll play cleanly because it's one flat video. But right now it's essentially playing this clip 3 times on top of each other. So now you can see my weapons are all ready to fire. I fire them halfway and stop until the last stand is over. And I cook that feather destrier. You know, having watched it now, I feel like maybe I went a little far at 45. I think I kind of want to go a little bit bigger. So I'm going to highlight that second down here. That second layer is my firing button. I'm going to take that to 50. I just feel like I can't quite see what I want to see. Adjust the horizontal there a bit. And let's just go from there and see how that looks. Yeah, that feels better to me. Your mileage may vary, but to me that feels better. And the feather destrier's dinner. Awesome. Okay, well, let's just go to share. Export this second short. And that, in a nutshell, is how I add the action bars, or the health bar and the action buttons to a YouTube short. I hope some of that is useful. I'm guessing you're not a dog or cat at home, because I know you have YouTube for company, but I don't know that you... Well, I guess you don't know what you're watching if you're a dog or cat, so maybe you are watching. If you're a dog or cat at home alone, I'm sure you're a good puppy or kitty, and your parents are going to get you a treat as soon as they get back, and I will talk to you again very shortly. Later.